Can you see me?
Yes, hello.
Okay,
Am I upside down?
I'm gonna do this sideways also because my phone is at 20%, which I didn't think to charge, unfortunately. So here we are. Nice to see you after Christmas and everything and holidays. I hope you're well. I am so sorry for people who see us sideways. I don't know if we're sideways, but anyways, it's nice to see you here. How was your holidays in general? I'm gonna get into the questions, but I thought I'd ask.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. Also, happy holidays. I hope your Christmas went well. It was pretty relaxing like Christmas. I just went surfing in San Diego, beautiful weather. It was blue skies, so I was content.
It seems like it'd be freezing out, but you know, to
It
each
was.
their own. To each their own. I did want to actually, so it's 2 o'clock on a December 28th. We're all kind of in this holiday kind of season. So I'm really excited that you're able to be here with us because we're going to be starting off our very first Region X or Region 10 Live Talk. If I know my Roman numerals correct. I would like to start off with a quick introduction from you. Can you tell me like who you are, what your major is, and what college you're a part of?
Yeah, of course. My name is Josh. I am a part of San Diego City College. I'm the government affairs officer at San Diego City College. I'm majoring in political science.
Okay, so you're in City College, so that's one of the San Diego colleges. So I know there's a multiple.
Yeah, it's actually a beautiful campus. I love the location. It's in downtown San Diego.
Oh, downtown. That's so nice. I mean, obviously it's Zoom, of course, but that is a very nice area. If anyone is able to actually come and visit, I highly recommend it. This is actually, I speak really, really quickly, so I'm so sorry if this is so fast. In San Diego, like, what is probably your favorite landmark area? I know I'm probably asking a little bit random question, but I wanted to actually ask.
Hmm. I really love Balboa Park. Um, it's just a beautiful location, the whole park in general. I also like Coronado Island. Just to hang out on the beach is really relaxing.
Yeah, Coronado is a really great place. Are you near Mount Soledad? Is that where San Diego City is also, or is that a little bit more upwards?
I live in Pacific Beach, so it's not that far. It's like a 10-minute drive. But it is a little bit distanced from San Diego City College.
This just goes to show how bad my geography is. I should probably know my geography a little bit better on that, but that's actually pretty interesting how close you are to like that area because I know that San Diego City is actually kind of broken away with the county district and how where I am, Palomar's, it's North County. Um, but speaking of like your actual community college, what's a community college like though? Like San Diego City, what is it like more specifically in Zoom or out of Zoom? Like, is there a difference?
Yeah, so San Diego City College, even though it was super far away from me, I was even more close to Palomar College. I was probably maybe like 5 minutes away. But I decided to travel all the way to San Diego City College to make the commute, and I felt like it was worth it. Um, the college is really big on social justice. That is like what we stand for. The students are very progressive, very diverse, and very vibrant. And I just love the student culture. We're always calling out when something's wrong. When we see something's wrong, we challenge it, and that's what I just love about City College.
The fact that you could have become a Palomar College student is interesting. You could have been in Palomar's SBA, which is really weird. So you were actually the thing is you actually went to San Diego City from the area of San Marcos. Now, not to say anything about the different colleges, but is there anything specific that you really prefer out of City College that you would think is so stand out from it?
I would say also the classes too. The social justice classes. There's a lot of Black studies, U.S. history from a Black perspective, women's studies, Chicanic studies, and the professors are very diverse as well. And so it's coming from a professor who can actually teach those studies. Mostly, I would say that it's social justice is the reason why I decided to go to that college.
Um, so with social justice, does San Diego City have any specific partnerships with other areas or in the regarding political science and social justice kind of majors?
Can you elaborate on that? Like, what do you mean by that?
Just any partnerships with other colleges, like going to transferring to San Diego State or that kind of thing. Because with Palomar, we have a kind of partnership with Cal State San Marcos. So it's just wondering.
Oh yeah, so If you go to San Diego City College, San Diego Mesa College, San Diego Miramar College, you are more guaranteed for San Diego State University. Where if you go to live in San Marcos, it would be um, Cal State San Marcos.
Okay, that makes perfect
But
sense.
there's also a lot of tag programs as well. So I'm guaranteed to get into UC Santa Barbara.
Oh, right, I forgot about the tag. The tag is something that you can do in the first year, right?
So the tag is right before you apply for the college. I think it's actually the second year. So last September, um, I decided that I wanted to make the agreement for tag, and then if I follow all of the requirements, then I will be able to. After I apply, I'll be able to be guaranteed into the university.
You know, I probably would. I wish my major allowed that. I'm not gonna lie, but each major has a different kind of style, so I understand that. Speaking of just general like community college standards and settings, your SBA. So with your SBA, it's each one is different. It has a completely different atmosphere. I did want to ask about since you are our legislative affairs director, how did you get involved with your SBA in general, and how did that lead to Region X?
Okay, so I think I have to start like before my being my SBA. I was involved in the Foster Youth Council for Change. It's like a council for foster youth, and we get to be able to call out the injustices that we've experienced to improve the experiences for the people who are in the system right now. And in doing that, I realized that I can have an impact. I can use my voice to create change, and I decided that I wanted to do more. And so I reached out to my college advisor and the college president, and I got involved in San Diego City College ASG. And I first started out as a senator, and like a 1 month in, they were calling for me to be the government affairs officer. And the SBAs are having a lot of issues right now, as you know, especially in Palomar, all across the state. There's a lot of students we need students on SBAs. So they called me for the government affairs officer, and became the delegate for San Diego or for the SSCCC, and I was able to just experience what it's like to. I was there for when they passed the student action plan for um, anti-racism student action plan, and I was able to see that the students are very powerful, and when we come together, we can create a large amount of change. And originally, from an outside perspective, I didn't realize the effect that we can have as students. I thought we make events, we get together and we have social events. No, we can affect legislation, we can visit legislators, and knowing that all the impact that we can have, and knowing that the legislative affairs director position was opening up, I realized that I would love to be able to be a part of this amazing organization.
So, touching the topic more specifically towards your position, actually. So you joined SSCCC, which is the Student Senate for California Community Colleges, but you also joined Region 10. Can I just ask your opinion on legislative seasons, which is approaching rapidly? Do you think it's slowing down? Do you think it's speeding up? Do you think it's changed because it's on Zoom now?
I wasn't in the legislative affairs director position before the Zoom, so I don't really know what it's like to not have been in the Zoom position. Although I think compared to the years before, there is a limit on the amount of legislation that can be passed. So, but I do, in terms of it speeding up, because we're getting to January, we're getting to the legislative session. It is speeding up.
So I did want to ask something more about legislative affairs director. Also, what I was trying to get at as well was how, like, what is a normal day for you? Like, or a normal day when you're focusing on Region X or Region 10? Like, would you be able to describe that at all, or is that more of kind of hard to explain?
It varies. So there's the leadership position of the legislative affairs director, and that is listening to the students, and also delegating roles to the students, and organizing maybe uh, appointments with legislators to go on legislative visits, and then also preparing to train the students on what that should be for legislative visits and like how do you get trained. That's like the leadership portion, but the portion that is different is the legislative affairs directors, that you are also on part of the board of directors, and you're also in the legislative affairs committee for the SSCCC as a whole. And in doing that, you learn a lot. They train you on all of the different legislative positions that the SSCCC has, the legislative priorities. They train you on how to train your delegates and how to actually be influential and impacting legislation. So it's a lot of learning, especially in the beginning. They give you a packet, and it's like, I believe it's like 150 pages. It's quite it's quite large. There's a lot of parts of this position that I'm still even getting to understand a few months into this position.
Okay, sorry, I thought that was mine for some reason, but 150 pages? That's insane. That's a lot of pages to read. I'm glad that you're the one in the position. I mean, not just because of the 150 pages, but also because it is a very important position. And from my knowledge, meeting with legislators over Zoom, that must be a pretty strange. Like, it's not the normal kind of meeting with legislators through the meeting, like the normal protocols. You have it. It's a little bit more. What would you describe like meeting with legislators over Zoom, like, or at least trying to connect with legislators because of the online environment? Is it the same? Is it more official, less official?
I would say it's just as amount of official because you're able to use your voice to impact the legislation. I would say it's more convenient as you don't have to pick up and travel to the legislators. And especially, I've met with the legislators down in the Bay Area, and I would not have been able to do that if I wasn't in the Zoom environment.
You know, honestly, I think distance does make a really big difference, just because how we're all placed and that most areas don't really, it's kind of hard to get to. I know since San Diego spans a really, really large amount of land, so I get that part. Um, oh, sorry. My next question is actually regarding a little bit more of a freestyle question. It's actually, so you can pick a topic, and it could be either be your SBA, your college as a whole, or your major. And I want you to pick 3 words that describe that topic. So you can pick any one of those, but you just have to pick 3 words.
I just love the students. I'm gonna pick the students. As a group in the aggregate, we are very, very powerful. We're progressive, and I would say we're audacious. When we see something that's wrong, we call it out. Just because it's been the status quo, we're not afraid to challenge it. As we can see with climate justice, it's becoming a forefront of the next administration's agenda is to fight for climate change, and I think that, or climate justice, and I think that is a huge part and due to the students. But we also can see that the students are very powerful in influencing legislation that directly affects us, well, such as the Cal Grant reform that's going on right now, or the student trustee enfranchisement movement. As a whole, we are very powerful. And I think it's just us realizing that the power that we hold as students and the reach and influence that we have, I think in that, just knowing that um, you should get out and you should use your voice if you're listening, because your voice is powerful, your perspective is important, and we need more student leaders because the more we have, the better and the more powerful we are.
That I agree with. But in terms of like getting involved in Region X, actually, because Region X is absolutely involved about the students, what advice would you give to students who are interested in getting involved at any level, SBA, Region X, or even higher?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend that you reach out to first the SBA. You can reach out to the SBA president if you're interested in that. And SBAs, they have open positions and they need to be filled, and your perspective is very valuable. So you should use your voice to influence your SBA, the decisions that you're making. I also do want to or point on the 9+1 rights as students, as state law, that we are guaranteed to have our voice represented. And if there's not enough students, that voice is not going to be represented. So we need to exercise our rights, and when the colleges are making decisions, that we are there to affect those decisions. That the decisions are, because the decisions will be made on a vacuum. They're not required to reach out to the students to listen. That's not the required. They're not required. Legislators are not required to do that either. So it's our duties to go out and to make sure that these decisions are made in alliance with our values as students. And but in addition to reaching out to SBAs, you also can reach out to the RAD. If you're interested in going into SSCCC, there's all these committees that are open and that have open spots, and they need to be filled. So I would recommend that you reach out to a RAD Region X at Student Senate, ccc.org. That is her email. And Rad Tobias, she's an amazing rad, and you can ask what committee positions can I fill, and that is very important to use your voice.
Okay, perfect. You pretty much summed up everything that I would have said as well. Especially since getting involved is important no matter what. Now, I actually had one last question. I speak very quickly, so I'm so sorry if I'm speaking so fast. But I did want to ask, just a general, if you just summing up your entire experience so far as a personally, what would you give it? Like, not a number per se, but what would you? Is there like a one word that could explain your entire experience so far, going from in-person classes to online, and then trying to get more involved because of that? Like, what would your overall experience be?
I would say that at first it's definitely been challenging going from an in-class environment where you're collaborating with your students as a full-on discussion, and it's very amazing that what the experience that you get, and then for it to like switch or like to online environment. At first, it was difficult, and especially the lack of communication with the professors. I had to try a lot more harder to communicate with the professors, go to a lot more office hours to catch up. But I would say that it has made me more. It has made me grow. This experience has been challenging, but also has made me grow, and now I feel like I can benefit. I can, instead of looking at all the problems of the online environment, I can look at all the pros and all the benefits that it gives me in making more decisions. And now I can be involved in the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. I can be involved in my SBA. I can be involved in my college. I can work at my college. I can do a lot more. I can be a full-time student. There's a lot more potential for me to use my time, I would say.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the entire Zoom, in person to online. It's been a crazy ride, especially since I think we're in month 9 for at least community colleges. So I have no idea how we ended up getting this far along, but I know that we are definitely resilient for being able to do this and transitioning, because I think for most part, we had our first full semester online, which is weird, other than summer, but that's a different case. So now we're kind of feeling the effects. Is there any updates you wanted to give about San Diego City before we leave off? Zoom being online next semester, or any other updates if people wanted to get into San Diego City?
Yeah, just to put on that, like I remember when they had 14 days, they were saying we're going to be on for 14
Oh
days.
my gosh.
Everything will be back together, and now we're on month 9. It's been a crazy experience. But as far as San Diego City College, you can enroll now. Classes will start February 2nd if you're interested in that. We also have the Promises program that is, I believe, is across the state, that you can get your tuition waived if you're a new student. For the first year at most colleges, but at San Diego City College, you'll get your tuition waived for 2 years, and you will also get book grants, which I would really highly suggest that you apply for the Promise Grant. But as far as SSCCC updates and the Legislative Affairs Committee, we are bulking up, and we're excited to meet with the legislators. And if you're interested in joining the LAC for Region X, and you want to use your voice to impact legislation, I would say reach out to me. You can do that at my email, lab region X at studentsenateccc.org. I can also put it in the comments as well. But yeah, definitely if you're interested, reach out to me. And we love to have your voice represented on our committee.
Well, you heard him. In regards to actually getting in contact, if you aren't able to get in contact via email, you can always DM this Instagram actually at SS Region X or SSCCC Region X, which is on Instagram. We also have a TikTok now, which is, I believe, SSCCC Region X as well, which is ran by our communications officer. So if you want to get more content on that, or just wanting to follow up on what Region X is doing, this is the place to be. Other than that, until our next live talk, I appreciate you being here, Josh. I know I basically threw in a lot of questions, so I thank you for your patience with that. But it was fun talking to you, especially since being online and everything. So I appreciate it a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me and hosting this event. I think it can be very effective in showing students that it's really easy. It's not that difficult to get involved, to use your voice, and they should use their voice because it's important that they do.
Okay, with that, that is the official, oh, sorry, person who just joined, but that is the official end of our live talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you.